We're live on the campus of historic Tuskegee University, the #3 HBCU in the nation. And now, presenting from Washington Field for Tuskegee, Golden Tigers.
And we are live here at Washington Field for Tuskegee baseball as we get set for the second of our doubleheader. Golden Tigers of Tuskegee getting set to host the Tigers of Benedict College. Of course, we're not at the softball field. We're at Washington Field for baseball. It's Benedict winning the first ball game 22-5 as we get set for the second ball game. Tuskegee getting set to send up Ryan Morrow on the mound, and he will meet on their pitching for them. It'll be Carson Fellows pitching for the Tigers of Benedict, and Morrow set to begin things, and the Tigers tend to the plate Isaiah Canty to start things off in this second ball game. And Morrow winds and delivers. The first pitch is in for a strike against Isaiah Canty for the Tigers of Benedict, and we're underway with our second ball game. Glad you could join us on GTSN. And Morrow set with the second pitch, trying to find the inside corner on that one, but can't, and that takes the count to 1-1. Charles Ward here along with the production team here at GTSN as we're in second game action of our doubleheader on a Saturday. Morrow, curveball, that one looped, but up top of the zone for a ball, and the count goes to 2-1. Morrow on the season for Tuskegee on the mound. This is going to be his sixth appearance, 1-0 with a one-loss record. Ryan, and this one popped up, and out in the right field circling there is Jacoby Brooks. Jacoby throws the glove up, squeezes the baseball, and that's out number one here in the ball game. So Canty flies out to right field. And second contest on his way. Tuskegee looking for a much better result here. Lost the first ball game 9-5 on yesterday. Fell in this first one today 22-5. And looking for revenge here in the final contest between these three of the season. Nicholas Joya at the plate. Morrow starts him off with a strike on the inside corner with the curveball. Joya shakes his head no. But umpire Scott Wynn says yes with the hand in the air, and Morrow is ahead in the count. No balls, one strike. Joya, big performance by him in game one for the Tigers of Benedict College. Morrow starts another curveball, same result. Joya scoring twice in the first ball game and had 2 base hits in that contest, 3 base hits and 3 RBI at minimum for him in that 22-5 win. Behind in the count 0-2, this pitch fouled off right side. Ryan Morrow going right at Joya, ahead in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. One down here. A rubber ball game between these teams. Ryan Morrow stretches, curveball swung on and missed at, or foul tipped at the plate by Joya to stay alive. Looks like he may have strained something with that right leg. Flexing it out a little bit as he gets set to step back in the box. Awkward swing by him on a ball in tight. Able to stay alive, but Ryan ahead in the count now. So Ryan rocks and fires for Tuskegee. Curveball, this one looped out to center field, sliding to his right is Saffold. Saffold almost in left field and makes the catch for Tuskegee. Backed up there by Jabari Johnson, but John, having to track it a long way to his right, runs it down for out number 2. And that'll bring up the catcher, Juan Guardado, for the Tigers of Benedict. Guardado in that first ball game scored a couple of times, did not clear a base hit for them, but got on bag and scored a couple of times for them in their win over Tuskegee in the ball game prior to this one. Ryan rocks and fires. First pitch there, a strike at the knees from Ryan Morrow to Guardado. Justin Murray on deck for the Tigers of Benedict. Morrow with the pitch, curveball. Just off the plate, count at 1-1. Beautiful afternoon here in Tuskegee, Alabama. Not a cloud to be found. Winds died down just a little bit here as the day has progressed. That pitch, fastball in the zone. And that one's high for ball one. So 2-1 count now to Guardado. Ryan trying to take them 3 up, 3 down here to start this first inning of game number 2. 2-1 delivery, curveball chopped on wide of third base and foul. Morrow on the season for Tuskegee. Just 7 strikeouts, 11 base on balls. Ordinarily a field position player for Tuskegee, but can hurl from the mound. Sophomore from St. Petersburg. 2-2, pitch out and off the plate for ball 3. 6.9 ERA for Ryan. 11 2/3 innings pitched prior to coming into this ball game. Already 2 down here in the top of the first. He's given up 11 hits, 14 runs, 11 base on balls. Full count to Guardado. And here's the pitch from Ryan. 3-2 curveball, turns it in. Guardado took it for a ball on the inside. That was a tough take. That was a good pitch. But Guardado is down at first on the walk. For his first pass issued in the ball game for Tuskegee. Guardado's down at first. Justin Murray, the first baseman, steps in for the Tigers of Benedict. Murray hitless in that first ball game, but hit once in the back with a pitch. He's at the plate. Guardado at first. Morrow looking him back. Pitch to the plate. That one's over, but low for ball 2. Glad you could join us for our coverage on GTS, and our coverage will continue next weekend here from Washington Field. And the series against Lane. That pitch, curveball over there from Morrow. Nice job by Ryan on the pitch. Joshua Stevens behind the plate for Tuskegee in game 2 today. Will set the defense. Alex Glass at third, Devin Lee at short, Nicholas Pratt playing second base, and Scott Williams at first. That pitch, fastball, just off the plate for Morrow. In the outfield, Jabari Johnson on and left. John Satfold had to run the distance on the last out. He's in center. And Jacoby Brooks out and right for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. Morrow, 2-1 pitch. That one low, and that's a walk there. So back-to-back walks now, and aboard is Justin Murray, followed by Guardado had a walk prior to him. So 2 aboard now here with 2 down in the top of the first. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Jaquez Atkins. Ryan started out, retired the first 2 batters in a row. And now the official's going to confer. Coach Hall saying that the count should have been 3-2 and not the walk down to Murray for the Tigers of Benedict. Now Scott Wynn and Greg Elder are going to confer about it to see what they had. Coach Hall saying that it should only be a full count at this point. And the pitchers are counting up the pitches now. And I think they're going to keep it the right where it was with a walk. So runners at second and first. And at the plate for the Tigers, Atkins steps in. Ryan working from the stretch. Morrow with the pitch to the plate. Curveball, that's over for a strike. Tuskegee needing to get off early here. Have not led in this series at all to the Tigers of Benedict College. Morrow peeping back at second. Now to the plate with the pitch. Bounced up there. Good block there from Stevens from behind the plate. Keep it in front of him. And holding a runner down at second base, Guardado. 1-1 delivery from Ryan. Pitch swung on and pushed out, foul out in left field. And that'll make it a 1-2. Omido would be next for the Tigers of Benedict, but Ryan doesn't want to go that far in the lineup. Here's a 1-2 pitch, curveball, and that one's off the plate for 2-2. Two on, two aboard. Here's the pitch. Curveball swatted out and out in the center field. Closing is Saffold. He'll turn the corner. Guardado throw to the plate. That's going to be up the line. And Guardado scores the first round of the ball game for the Tigers of Benedict on a solid base hit up the middle by Atkins. So Atkins with the base hit gets the RBI, and the Tigers of Benedict strike first here in game 2. That'll bring up the third baseman, Jonathan Omido. And Omido steps in. Runners at first and second. Murray down at second. Atkins at first. This one lifted out center field. Backpedaling Saffold. Runs near the scoreboard. Runs it down just in front of it to retire the Tigers of Benedict, but Benedict pushes across one here in the top of the first. Tuskegee trailing 1-0. They'll come to the plate after the timeout.
Broadcast coverage of Tuskegee Athletics on the Golden Tiger Sports Network is brought to you by Alabama Department of Public Health. Healthy people, healthy communities. Healthy Alabama. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Alabama Power, developed for the service of Alabama. Wind Creek Casino, Montgomery. Elevate your game to fabulous. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. Coca-Cola, real magic. Zuby's Taco Kitchen, Yellowwood. And by Vibes Restaurant, we're all about good vibes.
Hi, Tuskegee fans. I'm Coach Chad Hall, your head baseball coach. Thank you for listening to the Golden Tiger Sports Network. Go TU.
Carson Fellows will be on the mound for the Tigers of Benedict College. They take a 1-0 lead into the bottom of the first inning. And Fellows, first baseman for the Tigers of Benedict, as a pitcher, 5.8 ERA, 3 wins, no losses. This will be his 5th appearance for the Tigers of Benedict. 12 and a third innings work by Fellows, 15 hits, 8 runs, 12 base on balls, 7 strikeouts. Team's batting .333 against a senior from Naples, Florida. Fellows will meet Nicholas Pratt, Devin Lee, and John Saffold. The first 3 in the lineup are head coach Chadwick Hall. They'll be followed by Scott Williams, Javari Johnson, and Alex Glass. Then Jacoby Brooks, Stevens, and then Morrow. So that's Pratt, Lee, Saffold, Williams, Johnson, Glass, Brooks, Stevens, Morrow for Tuskegee in their batting lineup in this ball game. Tuskegee trailing 1-0. Bottom of the first. Fellows to work on Pratt. Swing and a miss by Nicholas. Swings and fouls it left side into the Tuskegee dugout. So Fellows with his first delivery gets ahead in the count. No balls, 1 strike. Rocks and fires. This one swung on and missed by Pratt. And it's an early 2-0 count for Fellows. Fellows 6'6", 235. Rocks and fires. Curveball swung on and missed, and Pratt retired on 3 pitches. So Devin Lee, the shortstop for Tuskegee, comes to the plate. Devin with an impressive performance from the plate for Tuskegee in game 1. Had 2 base hits on 3 trips to the plate for the Golden Tigers. Drove in a couple of runs as well for Tuskegee. Lee walking up to Waka Flocka. Grove Street party as Lee swings at the first pitch, and he comes up empty. Fellows, tall righty, delivers this one way up top and out of the zone for ball one. So the count at 1-1. Curveball over there from Fellows. Found the corner with that, the count to 1-2. And holding up on that pitch is Devin. Started to swing, but able to hold and take the count to 1-2. Bottom of the first, 1-0 lead for Benedict. Fellows rocks and fires, pitch, curveball, and that one off the plate. Good eye by the shortstop, Devin Lee. Count full at 3-2, one down, bottom of the first. 3-2 delivery, fastball low in the dirt, and Devin's the first base runner for Tuskegee in the ball game as he draws the walk. That'll bring up the center fielder, John Saffold. John showing a lot of range out in center field. Couple of catches there in the top half of this inning, and he'll come to the plate now for Tuskegee. Scott Williams on deck for the Golden Tigers. One down, Devin Lee at first. Fellows to the plate, fastball delivered high for ball one to John Saffold. John on the season, .326 batting average. Did not play in the first ball game today. Yesterday, 3 plate appearances, no hits, swings at this one, drives it out in the right field. It might get down, and it will. Falls just in front of Jacob Hall in right field, and down the second base goes Devin Lee, and Saffold's aboard on a base hit. And he's at first, so runners at second and first now. Saffold delivers the first hit of the ball game for the Golden Tigers as he blooped one out there in the right field. John looking at it all the way. And it fell just in front of Hall out in right field. He's aboard, and so is Devin Lee at second base. One down, Scott Williams to the plate. First pitch, brushing Williams back on a high fastball as Fellows. Fellows to the plate. This one bounced up there. Devin thought about third, pumps the brakes, and stays at second base. Two balls, no strikes to Scott Williams. Here's the pitch. This one rocked out into right field. Going to be over the head of Hall toward the fence line. It'll roll all the way to the fence. Tuskegee will send Lee to the plate. Coming close behind him, it's Saffold, and in the third base sliding. That's Scott Williams with a triple there for Tuskegee. So Williams clears the bases with a ringing triple out in the right field over the head of Jacob Hall. And he'll play Devin Lee and John Saffold as a result. Scott all over that fastball and just took it the way it was delivered out in the right field behind Hall, who raced it to the fence line. But by that time, Devin Lee was turning third and John Saffold right on his heels, and both of them scored for Tuskegee. This one chopped out the right field. First pitch by Jabari Johnson. And backing up in the right field is Isaiah Canty from second base to make that catch. So one down here for Tuskegee. Beg your pardon, that's out number 2 on the pop-up by Jabari Johnson. But Tuskegee with 2 across as Lee walked, Saffold singled, and Scott Williams tripled to drive them in. And John Scott stands at third base now with 2 down, and Alex Glass that is, stepping up the plate for Tuskegee. Fellows fires that one up and off the plate. Tuskegee with its first lead of the series, 2-1, after Scott Williams clears the bases. Fastball there by Fellows finds the corner to count to 2-1. Fellows with the pitch, that one off the plate. Scott Williams down at third. He tripled to bring in the 2 for Tuskegee. Fastball chopped on, but it's late on the swing and foul. And the count run full to Alex Glass for Tuskegee. 2 down. TU with a 2-1 lead. Fellows curveball, this one, a slow roller toward third. Bobbled there, and Alex Glass will be aboard on the arrow by the third baseman, Jonathan Omido. And Alex, with that error, will be at first, and crossing the plate for Tuskegee will be Scott Williams. So TU with a 3-1 lead after the squibber there by Alex Glass down the left field line. Omido trying to cover that and left the baseball behind. Pitch there is up in the zone by Fellows as Jacoby Brooks steps in now. Glass down at first. On the error at third baseman Omido. Williams scores. TU with a 3-1 lead. This one swung on and missed by Brooks. So the count even at 1-1. Best start for Tuskegee in the series here in the bottom of the first. They lead 3-1. Fellows with the pitch. Brooks late on the swing and fouls that one off right side. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That one off the plate and taking second base. And standing there is Alex Glass on the pitch that got away from Guardado behind the plate. So Glass will get down to second on the wild pitch. Now he's in scoring position as Jacoby Brooks settles in with a 2-2 count in front of him. 2-2 delivery, swung on, chopped a little roller just wide of third and a foul ball. Got over the top of that fastball with the bat. And it stays at 2-2. Glass down at second base. Fellows from the stretch to the plate with the pitch. Curveball swung on and missed by Brooks. So that'll retire Tuskegee in the bottom of the first. But TU comes up with 3. And they take a 3-1 lead over the Tigers of Benedict. We head to the second here on GTSN.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Hey, are you fixing the power?
Yep, I'm gonna get the lights back on.
Yeah, my power went out and I have to start level 14 all over again in our game. Yeah, why didn't mine go out?
Well, we have this technology that can stop an outage in its tracks.
Why?
So less people will be affected during the outage.
Why?
So you can make the level 15?
Come on, Brian. Let's go to your house and keep playing.
Good luck, guys.
I'm Rolandus Rice, Chief Operating Officer and the Vice President for Student Affairs at Tuskegee University, and this is the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
Back live here at Washington Field. Action in other parts of the athletic complex at Tuskegee took place on the football field earlier today with the spring football game. And action from that contest earlier on today is Tuskegee going through its spring drills and warm-ups there. Had a chance to talk to head coach Aaron James at the end of our first baseball game. He was impressed with what he saw with a lot of different players out there, new players into the Tuskegee program in football. And we'll see if those players make an impact starting in the fall. But it's always good to get that early look as relates to spring football for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. Meanwhile, back here at Washington Field, Tuskegee's taking a 3-1 lead after they pushed across 3 runs in the bottom of the first. Lee scored, Saffold scored, and Scott Williams. Scott sent 2 of them to the plate on a triple, and he was later picked up on a fielder's choice by Johnson. And Tuskegee leads 3-1. Ryan Morrow back to work for TU on the mound. He'll face Jacob Hall, the senior from Powder Springs, Georgia. And Ryan missed on the first fastball low. Top of the second, Ryan rocks and fires. Curveball, that one's over for a strike. 1-1 now as Hall steps back in. Hall inserted in the ball game late in the first contest, able to get a base hit. Takes a pitch there at the corner, and a strike from Ryan Morrow. Tuskegee just decimated with pitching injuries this season. Morrow tried to curve it in there for a strike, but bounced it up there, and the count goes to 2-2. Difficult to make a real run at playoff contention with a tattered pitching core. And Tuskegee, to say the least, they are tattered. Curveball there swung on and missed. Dropped there behind the plate, so an easy toss down the first base from Stevens. And Hall is retired on the strikeout. Richard Powell, one of the starters, a freshman for Tuskegee, out for the remainder of the season. Coming to the plate now for the Tigers of Benedict, Malcolm Bates. Bates, first spot of duty in the 3-game series, a junior from Columbia, South Carolina. First pitch swung on and fouled back by Bates. Bates 0 of 5 on the season from the plate. 6 feet, 180 pounds. Morrow ahead in the count for Tuskegee. Ryan rocks and set on the 0-1 to the plate. Curveball, that's over for the strike. So Morrow up 2-0 in the count, 1 down, top of the second. Ryan trying to shoot the fastball past Bates, but shot it out of the strike zone, and that'll make it 1-2. Waiting on that baseball to get retrieved from behind home plate. It finally does. 1-2 delivery from Morrow. Curveball. That one's short of the plate. Count at 2-2. Tigers of Benedict batting as a team, .335. Morrow on a 2-2. Curveball. Chopper. It'll be cut by Lee at short. Flips over the first, and waiting there, Scott Williams on the other end. Easy peasy there for the Golden Tigers as Devin Lee flipping it over for the out. So Bates is retired, and that'll bring up Jamil Mitchell. Mitchell scored 3 runs in the first ball game for the Tigers of Benedict in their win. And takes a pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Although he scoots those legs out of the way, he agrees with the call. So Ryan ahead in the count to Mitchell. 1 ball, no balls, 1 strike. Ryan rocks and delivers here. Curveball. That one in too tight for the liking of Scott Wynn behind the plate. The count goes to 1-1. TU with a 3-1 lead, and we're in the top of the second. Morrow readies, swings this one on the ground. Devin again. Sunday hop, fires across, and they retire Mitchell and the Tigers of Benedict. In the top of the second, 3 up, 3 down. Tuskegee leads 3-1. They'll come to the plate in the bottom half.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Be the you you've always wanted to be. Wind Creek Casino. It's your kind of fabulous.
Hey, Tuskegee fans, I'm Reginald Ruffin, Director of Athletics, and you are listening to the Golden Tiger Sports Network. Go to you.
And we're back live here at Washington Field. Tuskegee with a 3-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the second. Carson Fellows on the mound for the Tigers of Benedict. Strolling to the plate will be Joshua Stevens for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. And Josh will be followed by Ryan Morrow. Morrow on the mound for Tuskegee this afternoon. And back to the top of the order after that with Nicholas Pratt. So bottom of the second, TU up 3-1. Joshua in the ball game on yesterday. Freshman from Baltimore. Set for Saturday action here. From behind the plate, now set to get into the batter's box. Fellows ready, fires. Pitch up in the zone for ball one. No doubt about it, Fellows has got the velocity. Pitch is there, that one's swatted, and that'll be wide of third base. Omido knocks it down in foul territory. One count now. Fellows rocks and delivers, curveball, and just off the plate. Good eye there by Joshua Stevens. Two one. That one sails straight to the backstop, and now it'll take it to 3-1. Bottom of the second, 3-1 delivery. That one's low, and the walk issued there to Stevens. So Stevens starts to second with a base on balls, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Ryan Morrow. See if Ryan is bunting here. 3-1. Stevens at first. Ryan squares, tried to get it down and fouled it off right side. So Morrow behind in the count, no balls, one strike. Stevens at first, drew the walk. Fellows look back that way and comes to the plate. Bunt attempt there, pulling back by Morrow, and the strike is delivered by Fellows, so the count now 0-2. See if they take the bunt off now. Fellows to the plate, and that fastball delivered just off the plate for ball one. 1-2. As Ryan settles back in the box for Tuskegee. Curveball off the plate from Fellows, and the count even at 2-2 now. Nobody out here, bottom of the second. Tuskegee leads 3-1. Down at first base, Joshua Stevens, he drew a walk. Fellows set for the 2-2. This one off the plate, the count taken full. And Ryan, see if he can't get in on a base on balls to follow Stevens. This one chopped on, fouled off of the left foot of Ryan. and they'll reset the pitch. Payoff pitch for Fellows. Taking a lead at first is Stevens. 3-2 in the pitch. That one in tight, and Ryan draws a walk. Fellows wondering where that pitch was in the zone, as Ryan goes down to first base and Stevens down to second. So consecutive base on balls, and back to the top of the lineup with Nicholas Pratt set to bat here for Tuskegee. Tuskegee with a 3-1 lead and 2 runners aboard here in the bottom of the second. Fellows looks to second, squaring the bunt. Good bunt there by Pratt down the left, the first base line, and he threw it high, and he's safe at first base. Throw to the plate, and they're going to have dead to the plate. There is Stevens trying to score after the throw from first base, and they got him at the plate on the pickoff. It was a bunt attempt, and after the throw was high at first base, which allowed Morrow to get aboard. You take a look at the replay there. So Pratt, that is. Pratt bunted it down the first base line. Good job there. Fellows high on the throw, and then the throw from Murray back to home to Guardado in plenty of time to nail Tuskegee runner coming toward the plate. That was Stevens, who was picked off at the plate. So Stevens retired, and Selwyn Young, the head coach of the Tigers of Benedict, gets a conference with field umpire Greg Elder, and Elder now calls the umpire Greg Scott Wynn, and they're going to discuss what Young was asking of Elder from the field. On the bunt, Pratt was able to get it down and get on first base, but once he got on at first, Tuskegee trying some aggressive base running. They sent Stevens from third, and Stevens was retired there at the home plate. Got picked off at the plate, but Morrow moved over to third as a result. And now Tuskegee with runners at the corners. One down, and at the plate, Devin Lee for Tuskegee. Lee got on a base on balls, eventually came around to score in that bottom half of the first for Tuskegee. Good bunt there at the front of the mound. Bobbled there by Fellows, and everybody's safe. Fellows looking over to third base, took his eye off the ball as he was trying to transition into his throwing hand and just dropped it. So everybody's safe. Another error there from Fellows on the mound. This time Devin Lee is the beneficiary of that. And he's down at first. As Fellows, just with some loose fingers there, looked at it, took his eye off the ball, and dropped it. So the base is loaded now for Tuskegee as Lee is aboard. Pratt is down at second. And this is Squibbler on the mound to the second baseman. Canty flips over to first to get one, but that will allow Morrow to score from third. And Tuskegee playing station-to-station baseball. So retired on the play was Saffold, but Saffold will pick up the RBI as Morrow came across. And it's 2 down now, and Scott Williams, who started the scoring in the first with a triple for 2 RBI. He eventually came around to score. He'll be at the box for Tuskegee. So 2 down now. Runners at second and third. Fellows rocks and fires. Bad pitch off the plate for ball 1. Pratt at third, Lee at second. Williams swings at the pitch and fouls it straight back. Count at 1-1. Curveball, that's over for the strike. Good pitch there from Carson Fellows. Tuskegee with a 4-1 lead. Pitch swung on and through the base side, right side for a base hit. Scott knew it from the time he hit it, got it under the glove of the first baseman Murray down the line, and 2 more across. 2 more RBI for Scott Williams in this ball game. He's got 4 RBI so far. This time it's Pratt and Devin Lee scoring for Tuskegee here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. So Scott Williams is aboard on his consecutive base hits. Had a triple first time and a single there. And Tuskegee with a 6-1 lead as Jabari Johnson comes to the plate. Johnson swings at the first pitch, grounds it right to the mound of Fellows. Fellows going to beat him on a leg race to first, and he'll run to the dugout after he retires the side. But Tuskegee pushes across another 3 here in the bottom of the 3rd. They push their lead now, 6-1, as we go to the top of the 3rd.
Are you fixing the power?
Yep, I'm gonna get the lights back on.
Yeah, my power went out and I have to start level 14 all over again in our game. Yeah, why didn't mine go out?
Well, we have this technology that can stop an outage in its tracks.
Why?
So less people will be affected during the outage.
Why?
So you can make the level 15?
Come on, Brian. Let's go to your house and keep playing.
Good luck, guys.
Tuskegee fans, I am Coach LaShonda Easterling, cross-country and track and field coach. Thank you for listening to the Golden Tiger Sports Network. Go Tigers!
Back live here at Washington Field, Tuskegee with an early 6-1 lead over the Tigers of Benedict. Good clutch hitting by Scott Williams. He's driven in 4 of those runs. As Isaiah Canty will come to the plate now for the Tigers of Benedict. He flew out to right field his last time up. Top of the 3rd, Ryan Morrow still working the hill for Tuskegee. Benedict got 1 in the 1st. Tuskegee 1 in the bottom of the 1st. And I've got 3 there and then 3 more in the bottom of the 2nd. Morrow pitches. That one swung on and missed by Canty. Fastball low in the zone. Canty couldn't hold off. Ryan sets and delivers. This one fastball, waist high in for a strike. 0-2 count ahead of Canty. Difference between pitching from behind and with a lead is all the difference in the world. Curveball there over the plate, but didn't cross the plate until after it was in past the plate, and the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Good curve, good option, just did not get the call. 1-2 delivery. Morrow fires. This one off the plate, counted 2-2. Two from Morrow. Curveball swung on and fouled back as Canty stays alive. We're live from Washington Field, Golden Tiger Sports Network. Glad you could join us for the coverage. Tuskegee baseball. Tuskegee trying to win this last ball game between these teams. Lost on Friday and lost the early one here in the first half of the doubleheader. Morrow, 3-2 curveball, and that one hits Canty. And all the way from an 0-2 count, Canty gets aboard for the Tigers of Benedict. So Ryan well ahead in that count, but they wound up losing Canty to a walk, and he's down at first base. That'll bring up the shortstop, Nicholas Joya. Joya flew out to center field his last time up. Canty at first. To the stretch goes Morrow. Ryan throwing back over the first. That one got away from Scott Williams at first base. And Canty down the second for the Tigers of Benedict. So Tuskegee trying to keep Canty close, but they lose him first on the walk, and then the throw over the first. And the throw got away from Scott Williams, and Canty down to second base. So Joya back to the plate with a runner in scoring position. And Morrow to the plate with the pitch. First pitch delivered in for a strike. Guardado on deck for the Tigers of Benedict. Canty down at second. 0-1 delivery from Morrow. This was on the ground. Lee bobbled it, picks it up, fires across the diamond. They'll get the tag there at first base on Joya. He's retired, but Canty slides over the third base. And that'll bring up Guardado, the catcher for the Tigers of Benedict, followed by Justin Murray. Guardado on a base on balls, eventually came around to score that run for the Tigers in the first inning. Morrow, first pitch, starts him off with a curve on the ground. Glass gonna go through the plate. They got a run down here at third with Canty. Canty headed toward the plate now. There's the throw, and I think they missed him on the tag. The ball got away from Morrow, and Tuskegee with a run down, exactly what they wanted on the lead runner, and not able to get the tag on Canty. My, oh my. That's what you work on in the off season there, the throw there. You got to be chasing him back to third, almost all the way to the bag, and then they unloaded it. And Morrow, the pitcher, stepped there, and he saw Canty coming to the plate, gave way, and he gave away the lane to catch the baseball as well. So Tuskegee not able to execute on the rundown, and the Tigers of Benedict score as a result. Not the way you want to give up a run there. And at the plate, this one shot out to right field. Murray, and the catch was made over the shoulder. Good job there by Pratt, sprinting out from second base to make that catch to retire Murray. And 2 down here in the top of the third. And that'll bring up Jaquez Atkins, the left fielder, down at second base. Here's Guardado for the Tigers of Benedict. He hit a ground ball with Canty at third. Canty got involved in a rundown. And this one swung on by Atkins, left side and out of play. While Canty was in the rundown, Guardado got down to second base, and eventually Canty scored because Tuskegee were not able to put the tag on Canty during that runoff, the rundown at between home and third. So Atkins at the plate now, behind in the count. Morrow, 0-1, and to the plate with the delivery. Curveball off the plate, count to 1-1. One of the banks of lights on here at Washington Field. No need for that at this point. Stepping off and throwing down to second base as Guardado's back for the Tigers. Golden Tigers of Tuskegee with the lights added here at Washington Field. Getting set for some night baseball in the future of Tuskegee baseball. 1-1, here's the delivery. Curveball off the plate. Let's come up a couple of other facility additions here with the press box in the near future. Same with the softball complex at Tuskegee. Just continuing to add to the facilities at Tuskegee Athletics under AD Reginald Ruffin. This one shot out to right field On the left field, long run there and foul ground, and running out of room. There's Jabari Johnson. And chasing that ball as well was Devin Lee all the way from shortstop. Lee really showing his speed. That ball in the air, and he ranged all the way from shortstop all the way down the line and left field. And both of them just a few yards away from catching that foul ball. Instead, it's a reset from the mound. Count at 2-2, 2 down, top of the third. 6-2 lead for Tuskegee. Guardado down at second. Atkins at the plate. Morrow with the pitch. Curveball swung on and missed. And Stevens will pick it up and toss it down the first to retire. Atkins at the plate on the strikeout. Tuskegee leads it 6-2. And we will head to the bottom of the third. TU at the plate.
Hey, are you fixing the power?
Yep, I'm gonna get the lights back on.
Yeah, my power went out and I have to start level 14 all over again in our game. Yeah, why didn't mine go out?
Well, we have this technology that can stop an outage in its tracks.
Why?
So less people will be affected during the outage.
Why?
So you can make the level 15?
Come on, Brian. Let's go to your house and keep playing.
Good luck, guys.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Golden Tiger fans, I'm Anthony Holloman, Commissioner of the SIAC, and this is Golden Tiger Sports Network.
Back live here at Washington Field. New pitcher on the mound for the Tigers of Benedict College. Going to be Jonathan Omido coming in from third base to take over the pitching duties. We'll have some infield substitutions for the Tigers of Benedict as well. Try to make a lookout for the third baseman, the new third baseman. I believe it's going to be the pitcher from yesterday, Braylon Duran. And it will be Duran at third base. So Duran winning the ball game on yesterday, went 8 innings and got up 9 hits, 4 runs, 1 base on balls, and 9 strikeouts. Now he's called on for fielding duties at third base, as Jonathan Omido will be on the mound now pitching. 10.1 ERA for Omido. This will be his 6th appearance. 8 innings of work for him, 12 hits, 13 runs given up by Omido, 6 base on balls and 7 strikeouts. Over his 8 innings of work, team's batting .343 against a right-hander. So closed the book on Carson Fellows. Fellows fell behind early in this ball game, gave up 3 in the first and 3 in the second. And that's as far as head coach Selwyn Young is willing to go with Fellows. And now Omido steps up to take over the mound. He'll be facing Jacoby Brooks, Joshua Stevens, and Ryan Morrow, the first 3 in the lineup for head coach Chadwick Hall and Tuskegee here in the bottom of the third. Set to begin, bottom of the third action. TU comes into it leading 6-2. First lead of the series for the Golden Tigers. Beg your pardon, it's going to be Alex Glass to start this inning. Johnson retired to end the bottom of the second, so Alex steps in. Got on an error at the third baseman in that first inning. Omido with his first delivery. Fastball in tight for ball 1. .1-0 delivery. That pitch at the corner for strike 1 inside, so the count to 1-1 on Alex Glass. Glass, .342 batting average. Omido squares and fires, swung on and fouled back by Glass. And the count, now no balls, 2 strikes as Alex steps back in there. Glass, then Brooks, followed by Stevens. Amido with the pitch. Curve ball, that one chopped on. That's going to be a fair ball just inside the bag. Down in the corner, Alex turns the corner, looking to second. He'll go into second base standing, thinking about third. Now he'll pump the brakes there and hold after the double down in left field. So Alex behind in the count, but jumped on a fastball that he liked and drove it out to left field, and he's aboard with a double for Tuskegee. So after you turn the corner, watch him pick up that baseball in sight there as he turned the corner thinking about 3, sees what's going on in front of him and knows that that's where he'll put the brakes on at second with the double. So Glass is aboard, and at the plate comes Brooks. Brooks bunted it, and this popped up, and this one will get down and out of play just behind the catcher. Guardado lost it momentarily, got a late start on it, didn't see it. So Jacoby with another chance here to try to get a bunt down. If he does, he'll try to push it down the third base line if he can. Playing tight there is Braylon Duran, the junior. See if he can get Glass over the third, with Duran having to pull up to fill that bunt if they can get it down. 0-1. Omido looks to second, squaring again. This pitch is down in the dirt. Count to 1-1. Tuskegee has done a good job of manufacturing its runs in this ball game. A lot of station-to-station hitting. Layton allows them to have that 6-2 lead. 1-1. Count to Jacoby. Brooks showing bunt, squares, pulled the bat back and took a ball low. 2-1 to count now. Alex Glass doubled down in the left field corner. He's standing at second base. Omido to the plate. This one bunted right in front of the mound. Good job there. Down the first is their only choice, and over to the third goes Glass. On the bunt by Jacoby Brooks. Good job by Jacoby to move Glass over to the third. So 1 down, and Joshua Stevens to the plate now for Tuskegee. 90 feet away, Alex Glass from scoring for Tuskegee. Stevens aboard on a base on balls in the bottom of the second. Omido from the stretch. And comes to the plate with the pitch. Swung on, chopped over, out of play right side from Stevens. Stevens, .217 batting average coming into this series against the Tigers of Benedict. Behind in the count, 0-1. Pitch swung on and missed. Pops away from the catcher Guardado, but no room for Glass to advance home. Ryan Morrow on deck for Tuskegee. 0-2. Pitch on its way. This one chopped back to the mound. Omido looks back, Glass at third, and throws it over to Murray at first to retire Stevens. So Alex has to leave it in park at third base. So that'll bring up the pitcher, Ryan Morrow. Ryan, more than capable with the bat, trying to see if he can't push Alex Cross across home plate. Cross a Glass doubled down in the left field corner. This one chopped on late on the swing is Morrow and out of play. Glass was behind in the count when he found the fastball that he just ripped past third base inside the bag and got it down in the corner for the double. 0-1 pitch. This one chopped on and through the whole left side, so Morrow delivers with a base hit, and he picks up Alex Glass at third, and Alex scores for Tuskegee. Nice job there by Tuskegee, hitting the baseball, the base hit there to left. Morrow with the RBI, and Glass crosses, and Tuskegee a 7-2 lead. Take a look at it there. Line drive shot right in between short and third, on the grass and left, and Alex able to just walk in for Tuskegee. This pitch swung on and fouled off by Nicholas Pratt as we go back to the top of the order for Tuskegee here in the bottom of the third. Pratt got on an error from the pitcher last time, struck out in the bottom of the first. Omido ahead in the count, 0-1. Rocks and fires. That pitch all the way to the backstop, and taking second base is Ryan Morrow as a result. So Tuskegee able to get into the pitching well of the Tigers of Benedict. They chased Carson Fellows early in this ball game, who gave up 3 in the first and 3 in the second. They've already gotten 1 out of Omido here in the bottom of the third to extend their lead to 7-2. Morrow down at second base. Pratt at the plate, and here's the pitch. This one chopped on and popped up down the first base line, and that'll be squeezed there for the out by Murray to retire Tuskegee. And the Golden Tigers put another run on the board. They lead at 7-2. We will head to the fourth on GTSN.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Hey, are you fixing the power?
Yep, I'm gonna get the lights back on.
Yeah, my power went out and I have to start level 14 all over again in our game. Yeah, why didn't mine go out?
Well, we have this technology that can stop an outage in its tracks.
Why?
So less people will be affected during the outage.
Why?
So you can make the level 15?
Come on, Brian. Let's go to your house and keep playing.
Good luck, guys.
Hello, I'm Dr. Mark Brown, class of 1986, president of Tuskegee University, and this is the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
Back live at Washington Field, Tuskegee adds another run. They lead it 7-2 over the Tigers of Benedict. Rubber game of a 3-game set. Tuskegee dropping the first 2, 9-5, and then 22-5 in the earlier ball game today. This is the second of the doubleheader on Saturday. On a very busy day here at Tuskegee University. It's junior day here on the campus. It was also spring football day for Golden Tigers football. It was also tennis action for the Golden Tigers tennis program against Alabama A&M. And a lot of activities just out in front of Logan Hall on the lawn at Tuskegee University. And for the Tigers of Benedict College, it'll be the pitcher, Jonathan Omido, coming to the plate to bat. He'll face Ryan Morrow. Ryan, all the way for Tuskegee, gave up 1 in the first, held him to nothing in the second, gave up another one in the third, trying to see if he can't post another 0 here. Ryan rocks and fires. First pitch cracked at the back of the helmet as Omido's down at first base on with a walk. They'll check him there. Thank goodness for the headgear there. That one got him right in the back of the helmet. So Morrow trying to come in close on a fastball on the inside. And Omido's aboard with the walk. Actually hit by the pitch, so he's at first base. And that'll bring up Jacob Hall. Hall out in right field. Omido on the bag. Pitch there off the plate for ball 1. Hall last time through the lineup, struck out, victim number 2 for Morrow in the ball game. And Ryan pitches here. This one swatted out to center field. Not a very long distance for Sappho to range to his left. And John makes the catch out in center field. And that's one down here in the top of the fourth. So Hall retired for a second time in the ball game. That's out number one here. And that'll bring up Malcolm Bates. Got a designated hitter in the lineup for him. And at the plate, that's Duran at third base. So that's where they inserted him in the batting order for Bates at that designated hitter spot. So Duran batting left-handed. He's a right-handed pitcher. Takes the ball high, that one to the screen, and down to second base goes Amito. He'll turn and take a look at third, but hold there. So Amito with the walk, now down to second on a wild pitch. Hall flew out to center, and now Duran at the plate. He's ahead in the count. 1 ball, no strikes. Morrow with the pitch. This one, no call there from behind the plate by Scott Wynn, but that one, boy, that looked right to be right on the corner. Instead, the count, 3 balls, no strikes. Likely Duran gonna take this pitch all the way, and he will for strike one. Trying to sell it as though it was a ball spinning, headed toward first, but knew he had to reset there. That one straight down the middle of the plate. 3-1. Omito down at second. Morrow looks that way, comes to the plate. Curveball, that one's on the corner for a strike. Now the count goes to full at 3-2. Ryan would love to battle back here and get Duran. 1 down. 3-2 pitch. And that one's on in tight, and there's a walk there. Duran down at first. He's aboard. And both runners aboard as Momito was hit by a pitch, and Duran draws a walk here. And that'll bring up Jamil Mitchell. Mitchell grounded out to Devin Lee his last time up. Would love to have another ground ball here to perhaps start a double play for Tuskegee. Morrow to the plate. Bounced up there and over the third. Here's a throw down at third, and bounce down there, and stealing third is Omito.
Let's go. We still turn 2.
So Omito down at third, and Duran not able to advance. So the runners at the corners now. Still the double play in effect. And coming out from behind the plate is Stevens. Asking Morrow to take a look at the pitch count device, or the pitching device on the left arm. See if they can get together. There's a pitch there on the ground to third. They're going to come to the plate. They got another run down here. Omito at third. And now they flip it toward Morrow. He'll run him all the way back to the bag. This time Tuskegee executes the run down perfectly. And Morrow with the tag. They got Omito headed back to third, which is where you want to push him back to the bag he came from, and then start to tighten things up from there. They do it well. They retire Omito. Down the second goes Duran, and over the first is Mitchell, but 2 down now. Good job there by that Tuskegee defense. So at the plate now, back to the top of the order is Isaiah Canty. Pitch to Canty. Fastball off the plate, just a smidgen there by Ryan Morrow. So Duran at second, Mitchell at first, 2 down, top of the fourth. Tuskegee with a 7-2 lead. Morrow, 1-0 delivery. Curveball over for the strike. Good sweeping curve there by Ryan Morrow to even the count at 1-1. Looking Duran, trying to get him back closer to the bag. Here's a pitch, swung on, fouled back by Canty. And Ryan ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sophomore from St. Petersburg. Looks in. 1-2 delivery on his way. Oh, another batter hit in the back of the head. This time it's Isaiah Canty hit in the back of the helmet, and he's down at first base. So ahead in the count to Canty, and they lose him on a hit by a pitch. And now the bases are loaded with Canty down at first. Duran over to third, and down at second is Mitchell. And to the plate, Nicholas Joya. Boy, I tell you what, I can't count the number of times in this series that there have been multiple runners on base, and Joya has had a chance to come to the plate for the Tigers of Benedict. Another situation here in the top of the fourth with 2 out this time, and the sack's full. Morrow with the pitch, curveball over for the strike. Duran at third, Mitchell at second, and Isaiah Canty just popped in the back of the head on the helmet. He's at first after being hit by the pitch. Curveball bounced up there and got away from Stevens, and crossing the plate is Duran for the Tigers of Benedict. So Duran's over the plate, and everybody else pushing up a base. Mitchell down at third, and now Canty down at second, with first base open, and Joya at the plate. Count at 1-1. 2 down, top of the fourth. And the pitch, fastball at the corner, delivered by Ryan for a strike. So Morrow jumps ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes after a blistering fastball on the back of the plate. One-two pitch here. Curveball swung on and wide of third on the swing is Joya, and to keep it at 1-2. Two down, top of the fourth. And the pitch swung on, back up the middle. Lee is there, slides, fires across the diamond, bounced at first. Williams not able to collect it. They throw back over the third. They don't get a runner there. So the ground ball to Devin Lee. Devin didn't get as much on that throw as he wanted. Scott Williams not able to close the glove on it at first. And Joya is aboard again, and he knocks in another run. Take a look at it on the replay. Routine ground ball there to Devin. Lee just didn't get as much on it as he wanted to with the throw. And Scott Williams not able to close it with his mid at first base. And Joya is aboard, and a run is across for the Tigers of Benedict. And that'll make it 7-3. There's Guardado comes back to the plate. So this time it was Mitchell crossing. Canty at third now. Pitch to Guardado, that one high in the zone for ball 1. 2 down, runners at the corner with Canty at third and Joya down at first. That pitch on the inside corner for a strike. One delivery here from, this one's popped up. Right side, Scott Williams giving chase, but that one will go just inside the Tigers dugout. And it'll be a 1-2 count for Guardado as he steps back in. So Joya down at first and Canty over at third. Tuskegee with a 7-3 lead. And Morrow trying to get out of this top of the fourth. 1-2 delivery. Here's the pitch. Off the plate, and taking second base is Joya. So he's down at second now, Canty at third. And the count pushed to 2-2. Morrow looking for the pitch to get out of this. Here's the 2-2, curveball, that one swatted out in the center field, tracking that one all the way back at Saffold near the fence line, and John will run it down about 5 or 6 yards in front of the fence in center field to retire the Tigers in the top of the fourth. But they push a run across. The Tuskegee lead now 7-3 as we head to the bottom half of the fourth.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Back live at the Washington field, Jonathan Omida on the mound for the Tigers of Benedict. Tuskegee with a 7-3 lead. And Tuskegee in the bottom half of the fourth getting set to get their offense back in flow. Devin Lee set to come to the plate for the Golden Tigers. John Saffold to follow, followed by Scott Williams in the lineup for Tuskegee. I got 3. Devin Lee set to come to the plate here for Tuskegee. Some dispute with the Tigers of Benedict. They're talking about the score situation on the scoreboard, asking if they had 4. But Scott Wynn's having none of that. Coming to ask me if I knew what the score was. I'm not official anything. Omida on the mound for the Tigers of Benedict. Devin Lee to the plate. Omida fires a strike on the fastball to start Devin. Devin got on a base on balls, then on an error. Eventually scored in both of those frames, the first and the second for Tuskegee. Omida head in the count, fastball, this one off the plate. Curveball, that one up high and out of the zone as well. John Saffold on deck. Scott Williams in the hole. 2-1 delivery. That one off the plate for ball 3. So Devin trying to get aboard here to start things in the bottom of the fourth for Tuskegee. (3-1). That one swatted out and caught on a line by Duran at third base. Devin with some tough luck on that one. Trying to place it right where he wanted. Would have had some running room. That one down in left field would have gotten him a chance for another double there. But this one snagged by Duran. And Devin is retired here in the bottom of the fourth. That'll bring up Saffold. John doing some good work out in center field for Tuskegee defensively. Run down a couple of long fly balls out there at the fence line. Omida with the pitch. Fastball off the plate for ball one. John, a junior from Birmingham, .326 batting average coming into this series. Took the first pitch for a ball from Omido. And here's the pitch here. That one in tight and ball two. Right at the knees, but off the plate. Scott Williams on deck. This one chopped on, a high chopper there coming down to Joya at short. Fires across the diamond. Saffold hustling, but can't beat the throw from Joya. So 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. So that'll bring up Scott Williams. Scott tripled in the first to drive home Tuskegee's first 2 runs in this ball game. And he'll step in against Omida. Fastball low for ball one. Scott, the senior from Atlanta. .303 batting average. Pitch there, swung on, chopped, and it's wide of third to make the count 1-1. One delivery. This one, a line drive on a rope to Joya again. Joya fills and throws across the diamond to retire Scott Williams and Tuskegee here in the bottom of the 3rd. So TU 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the 4th. We head to the 5th. They lead 7-3.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Be the you you've always wanted to be. Wind Creek Casino. It's your kind of fabulous.
Golden Tiger fans, this is Jordan Benson, your Sports Information Director, and thank you for listening to the Golden Tiger Sports Network. Go TU!
Back live here at Washington Field. Tuskegee leading it 7-3 over the Tigers of Benedict here as we head to the top of the 5th. Tuskegee trying to rebound after losing the first ball game of the doubleheader today, 22-5. And dropped it yesterday 9-5. So trying to win this rubber match if they can against the Tigers of Benedict. Ryan Morrow on the mound for Tuskegee. Getting set to go back to work. He'll face Justin Murray in their lineup. Murray will be followed by Jaquez Atkins. So Murray back to the plate now, and Morrow on the mound. Ryan rocks first pitch there off the plate for ball one to Murray. Murray, a little fly out to Pratt at second base his last time up. And that pitch high and off the plate from Morrow there to go behind in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. This one looped out in the left field on a rope and is diving for it and not able to come up with it. There is Jabari Johnson out in left field, and down the second base on a hard hit double. There is Justin Murray for the Tigers of Benedict to start their top of the 5th. That'll bring up the left fielder, Jaquez Atkins, for the Tigers of Benedict. On the double there by Murray to get things started for Benedict here in the top of the 5th. Atkins, a strikeout victim his last time up. Curveball there, chopper to the right side. Fielded by Pratt, flips it over. They'll get the out at first base, and over to third goes Murray. That'll bring up the pitcher, Jonathan Omido. Murray down at third base now. Ryan with the pitch, curveball, over but low for ball 1. Jabari Johnson with a great diving effort there on that line drive from Murray, just not able to stab it as he dove for it. Pitch, that one bounced up there and off the plate, and coming in to score is Murray from third base. So the wild pitch gets Murray across the pillow at home, and that'll make it a 7-5 ball game. Top of the 2nd. 1 down. 1 already across for the Tigers of Benedict. Ryan, pitch swung on. Late on the swing is Omido, and he'll foul it off right side. Already in the top of the 5th of this ball game, pretty quickly moving second contest. Morrow, pitch swung on, missed by Omido. They're even now at 2-2. 1 down. Two curveball. That was whacked out the left field down toward the fence line. Will the fence ballpark hold it? It will, as Jabari Johnson runs it down just in front of the 320 sign down in the left corner. So that's a long out for out number 2 here in the top of the 5th. Omido gave it a ride, but that'll bring up Jacob Hall to the plate now. Hall flew out to center field his last time and struck out in the top of the 2nd. Ryan ready to go to work. Rocks and fires the first pitch. Fastball off the plate for ball 1. Curveball, same vicinity, up high for ball 2 now. 7-5 lead for Tuskegee. We're in the top of the 5th. Tigers of Benedict just pushed a run across after the Murray let him off with a double. This one chopped on the ground to Lee at short, and Devin bobbles that one. Coming up, ranging there, and commits his 2nd error of the ball game. Easy hop for him, was trying to play it off of his right side. Just never scooped and watched that baseball all the way into the glove. So Hall is aboard on the error, and the inning continues here. Brilliant Duran at third. Now at the plate, takes that pitch for a ball. Pitched yesterday, playing third base for the Tigers today. Coming in after Omito took the mound for Benedict. Took the first pitch for a ball. Curveball there, throw down to second, bounce down there, and on the tag sliding in there is Hall with the stolen base. So now he's down at second base. And Benedict trying to manufacture its second run of this inning with Hall down at second. And Duran at the plate, ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. 2 downs, top of the 5th. Here's the pitch. That one swatted way out the left, way out in front of it. Duran with good distance on that one. Drove it deep, had home run distance on it, but can't keep it straight. So the count to 2-1. Hall at second. Morrow looking that way. Now to the plate. He'll step off and throw it down to second. No throw, but the count still at 2-1. They'll chase Hall back to the bag. Two-one delivery to the plate. This one swung on and missed by Duran. The count to 2-2. So Ryan just trying to sustain just a 1 run given up in this inning. If he can retire here with Duran on this 2-2 pitch. Ryan to the plate with the pitch. This one goes down at third base to throw, and they have Hall picked off right at third base. He was trying to steal on Stevens. They got a fastball. Stevens right behind the plate just gunned it down the glass, and Hall knocked down in his tracks. He's caught stealing at third, and that brings this half of the inning to a close for the Tigers of Benedict. They get 1 across. Tuskegee still leads it to 7-5. We head to the bottom of the 5th.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Be the you you've always wanted to be. Wind Creek Casino. It's your kind of fabulous.
Golden Tiger fans, this is Jordan Benson, your Sports Information Director, and thank you for listening to the Golden Tiger Sports Network. Go TU!
TU still leading at 7-5. Jonathan Omito still on the mound for the Tigers of Benedict. They pushed across the run in the top of the 5th. Tuskegee trying to see if they can get that back. Omito taking its final warm-up tosses. Jabari Johnson set to come to the plate for Tuskegee here in the bottom of the 5th. Johnson, Glass, and Jacoby Brooks, the scheduled batters for Tuskegee. They lead it by 2. Back here on Friday with more baseball action from Washington Field and the final conference series and the final series, home series for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee when they'll host the Dragons of Lane College. By the time we get to that series next weekend, we will definitely have a clearer picture about where Tuskegee stands and trying to get into that top 8 of the SIAC to go on to the SIAC baseball tournament first week in May. Right now they lead at 7-5 in the bottom of the 5th over the Tigers of Benedict. Omida with the first pitch there. That's on the corner for a strike. Tuskegee right now 10th in the SIAC as this series began on yesterday. Behind Morehouse and Clark Atlanta at 9 and 8. Trying to see if they can jump over those two to get into the top 8. That pitch on the inside and tight for a ball. Spring Hill, Savannah State, Edgewater Waters, the number 1, 2, 3 teams in standings, followed by Miles, Benedict, Albany State, and Lane. So that's 1 through 7. And then Clark Atlanta, Morehouse, Tuskegee, followed by Lemoyne and Kentucky State. Tuskegee will have Lemoyne in a series at the end of the season. We'll have our final coverage at home here next weekend. Then they'll have Lemoyne after that. Omida, 2-1 pitch. This one swung on, chopped off foul back behind the screen by Jabari Johnson. So Omida back to work now. Jabari settled in the box. Count at 2-2. And here's the pitch. Pitch on the inside corner called for a strike. There, Jabari took that one and kind of a late break on it and broke right across the plate for the strikeout. So Jabari's retired, and now it'll bring up Alex Glass. Glass doubled his last time up down in that left field corner for Tuskegee. He eventually came around to score. Omida with the pitch. This one chopped right back up at the middle, but circling there is a nice play there by Goya at shortstop. Goya there, that ball headed to center field, but sliced to his left, cut it right by the bag at second base. And the sliding throw is just dead money there for Joya on the throw over to Murray to retire Glass. Thought that one would get into center field for a base hit. That'll bring up Jacoby Brooks for Tuskegee. As Joya showing some good range there at shortstop. First pitch in for a strike on Brooks. Just a breathtaking play there by Nicholas Joya down at shortstop to get to that ball. That one chopped over the head of the first baseman Murray and down in the right field, turning the corner now. And it got all the way down to the fence line and turning second base now on Brooks. He'll head over to third. They'll finally get the ball back toward the infield. And over at third is Brooks for Tuskegee. Give him a double on that, and then the misplay out in right field as you take a look at it. Just going with the pitch, Jacoby there. There you'll see him right at that point, recognizing that it got past the right fielder and on his way to third. Stumbled just a bit there. No thought probably of trying to go home anyway, but he'll stand at third with the double, and then on the error out in right field, he'll get over to third base. And that'll bring up Josh Stevens, the catcher. Omida with the pitch. Joshua swings at the first pitch, throw back to third base, and sliding back in there is Brooks. Good throw there from behind the plate by Gardo. But making it back in there was Brooks down at third. So Gallardo with a good throw down, almost getting Brooks off the bag. But it's an 0-1 count instead to Stevens. Stevens at the plate, chops on it and hits it wide of third for a foul ball. And Joshua behind in the count now. No balls, 2 strikes. Brooks at third. Tuskegee would love to pick him up here in the bottom of the 5th. Gain back that run they gave here in the top half. Omida with the pitch. This one swatted on out in right field. It might get down, but circling back is the second baseman, Canty, and over the shoulder catch by Canty. and he retires Tuskegee here in the bottom of the 5th. So the double by Brooks does not result in a run for Tuskegee. We head to the 6th, TU leading at 7-5.
Broadcast coverage of Tuskegee Athletics on the Golden Tiger Sports Network is brought to you by Alabama Department of Public Health. Healthy people, healthy communities. Healthy Alabama. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Alabama Power, developed for the service of Alabama. Wind Creek Casino, Montgomery. Elevate your game to fabulous. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. Coca-Cola, real magic. Zuby's Taco Kitchen, Yellowwood. And by Vibes Restaurant, we're all about good vibes.
Hi, Tuskegee fans. I'm Coach Chad Hall, your head baseball coach. Thank you for listening to the Golden Tiger Sports Network. Go TU.
Getting a little bit chilly here at Washington Field at Tuskegee University. We head to the 6th, Tuskegee leading at 7-5 over the Tigers of Benedict. And Benedict getting set to send up third baseman Billy Duran. He'll be followed by Jamil Mitchell. And then back to the top of their order with Isaiah Canty. I think Coach Hall may have a couple of substitutions. He's talking to the officials about it. So if we can make out these changes for Tuskegee. On the mound for the Golden Tigers, looks like it's going to be Devin Lee. Yeah, Devin will be coming in from shortstop to take over the pitching duties. We'll see how that impacts the infield. Now that shortstop, got to get that number of the new shortstop for Tuskegee. Not able to make out that number just yet. Taking some line for Tuskegee at shortstop. Yeah, it's going to be Jared Harmon there at short. So with Devin Lee coming on the pitch, it's like Harmon down at shortstop for Tuskegee. So it is Jared Harmon who will come in at shortstop for Tuskegee. Devin Lee will go to the mound for the Golden Tigers. Devin on the season for Tuskegee, 7.6 ERA, 1-3 record on the campaign. This will be his 12th appearance for Tuskegee. Innings pitched for Devin at this point. He's up to 13, giving up 14 hits, 14 runs, 16 base on balls, 11 strikeouts. Team's batting .289 against a second-team all-conference player for the Golden Tigers, second-team all-conference at shortstop. But Devin has pitched for Tuskegee and will be doing some here this afternoon. So Jared Harmon takes over for Devin at shortstop. And at the plate for the Tigers of Benedict is William Duran, the junior from New York. Duran with a good pitching performance for them on yesterday. And back at the box now here. He's at third base and set to settle in here. Devin taking over in the top of the 6th. First pitch on curveball. That one's over for a strike. So starts him off with a curve. Another curveball there. This one a bit off the plate. And the count goes to 1-1. T with a 7-5 lead. Here's the pitch from Lee. That one low and in the dirt. And the count to 1-1. I beg your pardon, 2 balls, 1 strike. Curveball popped up and out of play. Wide of first by Duran. So Tuskegee trying to hang on here. See if they can come away with a win over the Tigers of Benedict. This one fouled back, and Duran stays alive. I think Tuskegee's got a new catcher back there as well, trying to make out that number. Difficult to do so with the padding on. Curveball off the plate from Lee. Count goes full, 3-2. Try to get that number for you on the changeover. Like it could be Samarian Ward, but I think Ward played earlier in this ball game on a 3-2 pitch here. Inside corner and strike 3 called. Good pitch there from Devin to work it back on the inside of the plate, and Duran is retired on the strikeout. So that'll bring up Mitchell. Devin rocks and fires. First pitch swung on and missed by Mitchell on a low fastball. That pitch, same location. Good look at that battery there from our outfield camera there. As you see Mitchell stepping in. And Devin Lee getting set to get back on the mound. Rocks and fires on a 1-1 curveball. That one's just off the plate. Count to 2-1. One down, top of the 6th. That one chopped on to the shortstop. Harmon backhand fields, fires across the diamond, and safe at first base. Greg Elder right on top of that call at first base, and just beating that throw out was Mitchell down the line. Harmon with a good job of fielding that ball at shortstop. Now, boy, you see there Scott Williams coming up with the baseball, flipping it with his glove after he picked it off the ground. And that looked to be about the time that Mitchell crossed the bag. But Elder on top of it makes the call the other way and says that Mitchell is safe. So he's down at first, pitch there at the plate, and that's a strike to Canty. So 1 down, still in the top of the 6th. Mitchell aboard after beating out a throw. And Canty at the plate now. Double play still in order here for Tuskegee. 0-1 delivery from Lee to the plate. This one knocked out in the right field, circling that way as Brooks toward the line, and he'll make a grab there. Bluffing a run to second is Mitchell, but he holds tight at first base, and 2 down here in the top of the 6th. So Canty retired on a fly out to right. Now we'll bring up Nicholas Joya, just like we talked about before. He comes to the plate with runners in scoring position, this time with Mitchell at first. 2 down, top of the 6th. Devin wants to come out of this unscathed and keep it 7-5. Here's the pitch. That one swung on and fouled off by Joya, right side. Joya with some good work for the Tigers at the plate and some good gems out in the field for them as well. Off the plate with a fastball is Devin Lee. Count to 1-1. Mitchell with a small lead at first. 1-1 pitch, he's going. Bounced up there at the plate, and no throw down to second base. I think that is Ward behind the plate there for Tuskegee. Not able to stay in front of that ball, and down the second goes Mitchell. The worry is at the plate right here with Joya. Get him retired. You can keep it scoreless top of this frame. Mitchell down at second, count at 2-1. Lee looks back to second. Now to the plate with the pitch. Curveball behind the head of Joya, and easily over to the third goes Mitchell. On a curveball that never broke that time, and behind Joya at the plate, and the count to 3-1. Ward behind the plate with an apparel adjustment there. And the count at 3-1 with 2 down in the top of the 6th. See if they can't just retire Joya here on this bat. Mitchell at third. Devin with the pitch, bounced it up there, and Joya will have the walk, and Mitchell will come across the plate on the wild pitch. So back-to-back wild pitches from Lee, and Benedict pushes a run across. The last pitch was a walk to Joya, so again he's down on the bag, and that'll bring up Guardado, the catcher for the Tigers of Benedict, and he'll come to the plate with the lead cut to just 1 run for Tuskegee. 2 down, Joya at first. Devin's got to settle in here. Got to at least throw some strikes. Devin to the plate. Curveball, turning that left shoulder out of there is Guardado. As that one's tight on the inside. This one chopped out in the left field, coming in and tracking it with the catch is DeBardia Johnson for Tuskegee. So the fly ball out to left field. Tuskegee ends the top of the 6th, still ahead 7-6, still ahead to the bottom half with the lead.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Be the you you've always wanted to be. Wind Creek Casino. It's your kind of fabulous.
Hey, Tuskegee fans, I'm Reginald Ruffin, Director of Athletics, and you are listening to the Golden Tiger Sports Network. Go to you.
Back live at Washington Field, things are shrinking a bit. Tuskegee's lead now down to just 1 run. 7-6 as we go into the bottom of the 6th inning. Oviedo still on the mound for the Tigers of Benedict. Tuskegee getting set to send up Ryan Morrow to start the bottom of the 6th, then back to the top of the order with Nicholas Pratt and Devin Lee. Oviedo with his final warm-up tosses in between inning. Tuskegee love to get some insurance runs here in this bottom of the 6th, going into the 7th. Tuskegee got 3 in the first, 3 in the second, and then 1 in the third for their total. Benedict, they got 1 in the first, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, One in the fifth and just got one over in the sixth to give them the sixth that they have headed into the bottom of the sixth inning. So Morrow set to come to the plate. Ryan started this ball game on the mound for Tuskegee. Glad you've been with us. Hope you've been with us all day here on GTSN for doubleheader action. And even into yesterday, 3-game series against the Tigers of Benedict. Omito set to go to work. Ryan in the box for Tuskegee. Here's the pitch, squares for the bunt. Took a pitch down low for ball 1. Top of the order after Ryan's bat here. But Ryan trying to see if he can't get on here. Scored in the bottom of the second. Takes a pitch there. That one off the plate as well. So Ryan ahead in the count now. 2 balls, no strikes. Bottom of the sixth. Important to get that first runner on board for Tuskegee. Omito rocks and fires. This one over for a strike to kick the count down to 2-1. One delivery, and that's called a strike. Ryan almost about to swing at it, laid off of the swing, but called a strike anyway by Scott Wynn from behind the plate. Count at 2-2, and here's the pitch from Omito. This one chopped on, popped up out in right field. Hall standing in his tracks almost, throws up the glove and makes the catch there for out number 1 in the bottom of the sixth. So back to the top we go. And that'll be Pratt, Nicholas, followed by Devin Lee. Omito with that pitch. Curve ball over for the strike. Starts Pratt off with that slow curve. Nicholas struck out in the first, got on an error in the bottom of the second. Pitch here, chopped on and fouled right side, giving chase toward the sideline, and a catch made there by the first baseman Murray. Just in front of the Benedict bench, and 2 down for Tuskegee here in the bottom of the sixth. So Devin scored twice in this ball game. Last time up, a hard line out, but hit it right over to Burns, or Duran at third base on a line out. 2 down. First pitch from Omito. It's over for a strike. This one chopped on and popped up and out of play left side. So Devin behind in the count now, no balls, 2 strikes. As Omito goes back to the hill, ready to go, toes the rubber right away, and ready to pitch. 0-2 delivery here. Fastball off the plate, counted 1-2. Took a little bit of off with that pitch, but missed the zone nonetheless. 1-2 pitch on the way. That one off the plate. Count at 2-2. Devin trying to get something started with 2 down here in the top of the sixth. I beg your pardon, bottom of the sixth. Tuskegee with a 7-6 lead. Two from Omito. This one swatted on out to the second baseman. Canty fields and throws it over to retire Lee. And Tuskegee here in the bottom of the sixth. So we head to the seventh. Tuskegee with a 7-6 lead. We'll see if that can hold here at Washington Field.
Are you fixing the power?
Yep, I'm gonna get the lights back on.
Yeah, my power went out and I have to start level 14 all over again in our game. Yeah, why didn't mine go out?
Well, we have this technology that can stop an outage in its tracks.
Why?
So less people will be affected during the outage.
Why?
So you can make the level 15?
Come on, Brian. Let's go to your house and keep playing.
Good luck, guys.
Tuskegee fans, I am Coach LaShonda Easterling, cross country and track and field coach. Thank you for listening to the Golden Tigers Sports Network. Go Tigers!
That's what the SIAC Track and Field Coach of the Year looks like. Shauna Easterling for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. Congratulations to her. Tuskegee with a 7-6 lead as we are in the top of the 7th. Devin Lee still on the mound for the Golden Tigers. Believe this one's scheduled to go 7. If just so, this is be the last frame if Tuskegee can hold on to the 7-6 lead. Didn't quite get a word from the coaches before this one as it was it would be 7 or a 9-inning stretch. Tuskegee with the 7-6 lead as we go into the top of the 7th lead with his final warm-up tosses. Ward with a throw down and coming to the plate now for the Tigers of Benedict. It'll be Justin Murray, first baseman. So Murray is set to step in now. Scored in the bottom of the 5th. And Devin Lee set to go to work for the Golden Tigers. Devin's first pitch in there for a strike. Fastball with some velocity on it. Throw it right past Murray. It'll be Murray, Atkins, and Omido in the lineup for the Tigers of Benedict. Heart of their order. Pitch from Devin. This one swung on and wide of the chalk down the third base line. And quickly ahead is Devin Lee in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. See if he can come up with a wiggler here to get Murray retired with a change of pace. Or either the fastball right by him, but he caught up with the fastball on that last pitch. Might be the opportune time to try to work that change up with the curveball. No balls, 2 strikes. Lee rocks, fires, curveball just off the plate. Count at 1-2. Might not be bad to try that again. 1-2, Devin ready to go right back to work. This time it's chopped on and a pop up. And ranging is Saffold and makes the catch almost in right field for out number 1 here in the top of the 7th. John with just so much range out there. Left fielder Jabari Johnson and Jacoby Brooks out and right. They just tend to give way to Saffold with his speed. And rightfully so, he's a center fielder. But a good catch there after a long run to make it by Saffold out in center field. So Murray is retired here at the top of the 7th. And that'll bring up Jarquez Atkins. Atkins grounded out to the second baseman last time up. Took a fastball in there from Devin Lee for strike 1. Atkins didn't like the call, so he steps out of the box. And Devin with the pitch. Turns the shoulder of Atkins on a tight fastball. The count at 1-1. Atkins with a pink shin guard on. Pink elbow guard as well. Curveball up in the zone for ball 2. So Devin with 1 down, top of the 7th. 2-1, and here's the delivery. Curveball popped up, and Saffold out in center field. A couple of steps back toward the track, and he'll make the grab there for 2 down. So all the ball traffic going out to Saffold in center field as Atkins flies out into the well in center, and that'll bring up Jonathan Omido. So Devin trying to see if he can't close things out here for Tuskegee. Tee you up with a 7-6 lead, 2 down, top of the 7th. First pitch to Amito. Fastball up near the eye zone for ball one. Amito might be a little bit gun shy. He was hit in the back of the head with a pitch from Ryan Morrow early half of this ball game. Pitch here, curveball, swatted out to center field, and see if the park can hold this one though. Saffold toward the track, runs it down. How about the catch there by Saffold over the shoulder? Man, you talk about range there. Saffold had to go a long, long way for that baseball and grabbed it right there at the base of the fence line, runs into the fence and closes this ball game out on an outstanding catch for the center fielder for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. So TU comes off the deck after losing the first one 9-5 and the early one today 22-5, and they win the finale of the three-game set. They win it 7-6 over the Tigers of Benedict College. Take a quick time out and come back, wrap things there up on GTSN.
Hey, are you fixing the power?
Yep, I'm gonna get the lights back on.
Yeah, my power went out and I have to start level 14 all over again in our game. Yeah, why didn't mine go out?
Well, we have this technology that can stop an outage in its tracks.
Why?
So less people will be affected during the outage.
Why?
So you can make the level 15?
Come on, Brian. Let's go to your house and keep playing.
Good luck, guys.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Golden Tiger fans, I'm Anthony Holloman, Commissioner of the SIAC, and this is Golden Tiger Sports Network.
We're back at Washington Field, and the news finally good for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee over the three-game set with the Tigers of Benedict. They win this one 7-6 after Tuskegee took an early lead in the ball game and never relinquished it to the Tigers of Benedict College. Take a look at some of the highlights from this ball game, with Tuskegee winning the contest over Benedict. Early in the ball game, Scott Williams driving one out and got a triple out of that at the base of the fence line there, and that scored Tuskegee with two across here in that bottom of the first inning. Then at the plate for Tuskegee, that's his Alex Glass at the plate. Alex driving in a run there on a ground ball to the left side of the infield. Scott Williams, after he had that double, came in easily on that triple. And then a little squibbler there on the ground by Saffold, and that scored another run by Tuskegee to keep that line moving. And then Scott Williams again coming through, this time driving one through on the right side between first and second, and he drove home Nicholas Pratt for TU, and Alex Glass again for the Golden Tigers. This time rounding the bag, he had that triple down in the left field corner, or that double as he stands at second base for Tuskegee, and drove in a run from there. And things kept moving as Ryan Morrow, this time he was able to get a runner across as he singled out the left field for the Golden Tigers. And you take a look at this one. This was Jabari Johnson with a base hit out there, and he scored another run, and he tracked it around. A correction, that's Kobe Brooks. And Brooks stumbling there, but got it all the way over to third base for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. So some of the highlights as to why Tuskegee ends up on the scoreboard the way that you see it. They won at 7-6, the line for Tuskegee. 7-run, 9 hits, no errors for the Tigers of Benedict. 6 runs, 3 hits, and no errors for them. So Tuskegee coming off the deck to win the final of the ball game between the teams in this contest over a 3-game set, losing on Friday and losing the first half of the doubleheader. But finishing up strong here with the 7-6 win. We'll have to see how the other teams in the conference fared in their series over the weekend, and Tuskegee to know where they stand as we head into next week. But reminder, we will be back here at Washington Field on Friday for a 3-game set with the Dragons of Lane College as Tuskegee continues this hunt to try to get into the top 8 in the SIAC standings to be a part of the field that makes it to the tournament at the end of the regular season. That'll do it for our coverage here on a Saturday afternoon. Special thanks to Tuskegee President Dr. Mark Brown, Rolandis Rice, our Chief Operating Officer, and the Executive Producer and Director of Athletics at Tuskegee University, Reginald Ruffin. Deputy Athletics Director Deborah Rogers, Nick Brown, our Facilities and Operations Manager, along with Jordan Benson, our Sports Information Director, and then to our outstanding crew at the Golden Tiger Sports Network, Solomon Rush producing and directing this afternoon, alongside Phil Proctor, Eric Tabor, along with our graphics, Richard Brown on the camera down the first base line, over down at the third base line, Keenan Johnson, and from behind home plate, the always reliable Malachi Ards. Charles Ward, on behalf of this wonderful and productive crew with GTSN, thanks so much for joining us for our coverage here over this 3-game series, and we'll see you right back here next Friday from Washington Field. Till then, this has been a production of the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.